Ozonics, Killerwinds podcast back again. I'm Cole Tanner.
I'm Nick Simon.
Special guest,
Jason Mears.
This is Killerwinds After Hours.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well,
It is after hours. It's really late right now.
Yeah. And you can probably hear in my voice raspiness. Big time raspy. If I was a country singer, this is what you want right here.
You'd be called Raspy Johnson, probably.
You and Johnson, everything. Cedar Johnson, Raspy Johnson,
Scrape Johnson.
Scrape Johnson.
Can I say?
Everything's Johnson.
Who am I to judge?
Randy Johnson. That's a baseball player. No, but so we're doing a podcast today, episode 41. This is Harrisburg Great American Outdoor Show update.
Yep, we're coming in. Today was Friday. So what is that, day 7?
Day 7, baby. In the books.
Day 7 is in the books. Got 2 more days left.
And then it's OVER. Over. Gandhi. See you later. Go to the next one.
Yep.
And we are right in the thick of it. There's something, if you've never come to Harrisburg to the show, Jason, you know about this. You've been coming to Harrisburg for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's called the Harrisburg flu.
Yep.
No matter what you do, no matter how much vitamin C you drink or eat or whatever you do, you're going to get sick.
And we're sick.
Yep.
Yeah, we're down 3.
Yeah. I honestly think it was mostly Susie to start. She was patient 0.
Yeah, she's patient 0 for
Yep.
sure.
So she's been down for the count for a couple days. We've lost her. She's had a broken wing a little bit here.
Yeah.
So she's been MIA.
She's like a wounded bird.
Yeah, big time. She was out on Thursday, and then she was out today. And then halfway through the day, you took a turn for the worst.
Yep.
Straight down to sick town. Seriously.
I guess you could call it that.
You could just see it in your eyes and your face.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Yeah.
Randy has a fever.
And Randy's got a fever. Feel bad because his room is literally on the other side of this wall as we're sitting here talking in normal voices late at night doing a podcast. But it is what it is. Hey, sometimes you just got to persevere.
That's the
Yeah,
podcast.
the outcome doesn't look good for us.
We're going to do a cough counter. So that was my first big cough. I don't think I'm sick. I just think it's the process of talking for 7 days in a row, kind of halfway yelling. You know?
Yeah, and you've kind of had a little cough the whole week too, so
Yeah, a little bit.
just a social.
Yeah. But yeah, so mine is just mostly just a lost voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been an interesting week. Like I said, day 7 just in the books. Today was kind of a crazy day just for the fact that President Donald Trump was in the building.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
Yep.
Yeah, people were lining up at 12:30.
Yeah.
He didn't talk till 6:15.
Yeah.
It's a long time to wait in a line.
Yeah. So there's like where this Great American Outdoor Show is, there's an arena connected. If you've never been here, the Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex, it's this huge, big labyrinth of buildings
Yeah.
that are kind of all connected by these hallways. We're in the archery hall. To the north of us is the gun room. Then when you go south of us, there's this big arena. Then there's a fishing room. There's a boating room. There's like a cabin camper room. Then there's another hunting gear room and another hunting gear room and then an outfitter room.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah, I remember the first show I came out here and did. I went to the bathroom and I literally got lost. I could not find where I was. I had to call somebody.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you think you could just run to the bathroom and it would be like a 5-minute deal. Sometimes you get caught in the crowd. It's like a 15, 20-minute deal.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
You just kind of end up standing in a big group of people.
Yeah.
Just waiting for it to move
Hence
on.
why everybody's sick.
Yeah,
Exactly. Shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. But yeah, so Donald Trump was here today. So it was pretty bizarre because all week there was this buzz about him being at the show.
Yeah.
And then you could definitely feel it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You could see all the people with Trump stuff on. Everybody's all excited. And so the arena holds between, probably 10 to 15,000 people. And they didn't chuck it all the way full. You could see there was a stage on the one end. So obviously people were going to sit behind the stage.
Yeah.
They couldn't see anything. But there was probably, 5 to 8,000 people there. And they were all lined up all day. In the archery hall, there's a walkway along 3 sides of it. They had them lined up in multiple rows in that up in that walkway just waiting. Yeah, it was pretty insane.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it was neat. It was neat to see. Like I said, they actually put it on the intercom. You could hear him talking. It was just kind of wild to think he was right there.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, it's been an interesting week. Like I said, we've all been fighting a little bit of the Harrisburg flu, this little bit of a cold. It's just, shaking that many people's hands and being around that many people.
Right.
And or Susie being sick to start with.
Yeah.
And then infecting us. So we're going to just blame it on her.
Yeah, what was the number? What they said, 180,000 people through here?
180,000 people go through the show.
That's crazy.
Well, I think that's a huge thing too. Everybody, when you hear about this show, you think, gosh, how can they do 9 days of show? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Pennsylvania, it's not just Pennsylvania people that are coming here. You've got New Jersey, you've got New York, you've got Maryland, you've got West Virginia, you've got Pennsylvania, you've got Ohio. It's just insane. People come from all over the place.
Yeah, and you really see that throughout the day too. Seems like every single person you talk to, they're from a different state.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And some of those people come back every year.
Yeah.
It's like a yearly trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we do see some of the same people they come up to like, hey, you remember me?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, this is only my second year, and I definitely recognize some people that we saw last year too.
Yep.
It was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah. Well, and I think and some of the people that you really recognize are some of the people that we had some awesome interaction with.
Yeah, exactly.
We did, that's kind of one of the things that we're doing while Nick is here is we're kind of trying to trick people. We really tricked a guy pretty good today.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Really good. He was an avid Ozonics user and just walked up and was just gushing about it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when that happens, like Nick and I kind of spring into action.
Yeah.
Well, I figured out a couple years ago, we did this type of thing at the Iowa Deer Classic. We were trying to just get real people's, experiences. Because I think, a lot of times when people hear from me at the shows, at some point they just feel like I'm still trying to sell to them.
Yeah.
And just like me, like I trust my friends, I trust my buddies. Just like this whole time we're talking about gear, we're talking about things we like to use.
Yep.
Like I trust your guys' opinion. And so people, when it comes to Ozonics, are no different.
Yeah.
And so we felt like we're like, hey, let's try to really capture some of these just raw interactions with people and just their experience and their emotion and their, passion for it.
Yeah.
And so, but what we noticed right off the bat is once they saw the camera going, they froze up. Everybody gets quiet.
Yeah.
It's like Ricky Bobby, Yeah. So we figured out a system where we pretend like the camera's broken and then they don't realize that they're even being recorded. And then we just get everything like the super raw reel.
Yeah.
So this guy walks up today and I think it was you talking to him, wasn't it?
Jason talked to him first.
Yeah. Jason talked to him. He was like, hey, and Jason.
Yeah, he had a really good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good story.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, would you guys mind talking on camera? And he's like, sure. So I turned to Nick and I was like, all right. So the guy couldn't see me and I was like, make sure the mic's on, everything's good. I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn around and start talking to him. As soon as I turn around and start talking to him, count to 10 and then say, hey man, my camera's not working. Like I can't get something figured out. Just give me 1 second. And he'll hear that. And then in his brain, it'll say, hey, I'm not being recorded.
Yeah.
Cole, nice to meet you.
Matt, nice to meet you.
Yeah? Which unit are you running?
300.
300?
I got a 300 still.
Do you?
I don't know. I'm huge into bow hunting, and I always said, like, let's see what these are all about, They got to work, right? Let's try it. And the first night was no brainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cool. Deer in the food plot out of the blind.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. He's got to figure something on the camera.
Hunted the deer out of a food plot in the blind.
Yeah.
And it was late season, and that deer was there every night. Every night I hunted, I didn't see him. And he was coming above me, so he was getting my wind. And every night that I didn't hunt, I checked the camera, and he was there. And the very first night I sat with my Ozonics, an hour into my sit, he come walking right in the food plot, like not alarmed or nothing.
Isn't that crazy?
And I shot him.
That's so awesome. So you're not a very good actor, but
I thought I did a great job.
yeah, I don't know. It was, you were like, it was like, hey Cole, my camera's not working. Give me 10 seconds. I'll figure it out. And I was like, okay. And the guy was looking at me. I was like, he's weird. It's okay. So, but then his guard was down.
Yeah.
And then he just talked right along for the longest time. All these cool experiences, having does directly downwind and all this cool stuff. And his dad was right there. So yeah, that's, I think, one of the funnest parts is getting those types of interactions.
Yeah, it was funny. He had like a 3-minute clip of him just talking about all these experiences with Ozonics, and then we get done and Cole looks over at the camera. He's like, "Yep, we had you the entire time." It's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "I had no idea." He's like, "I totally thought that he never got rolling on anything, you know?"
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it works out pretty good.
Yeah.
What were you filming that?
We're filming the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's best to trick you because then you talk normal. If I would have said the camera's going, you'd been like, I like hunting. Yeah, that's what everybody is. As soon as they know the light's on, they get all
Jesus
nervous.
Christ. No, I'm sitting there like,
Yep.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think we've ever had a guy like really catch us
No.
because we pretty sneaky with it.
They
Yeah.
will now. You just told them the trick.
Yeah, we did just all the tricks.
It's not coming out till Monday, so we'll be good.
We got this whole show to be good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It works way better when you trick them because if you don't trick them, they get super.
Yeah.
And everybody does.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
funny because there's a lot of times when there's guys that are really talking about their experiences. They're so tuned into that experience that they're telling about. And I don't think that they even think about seeing a camera there. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Exactly.
When we do it how we normally do it, just kind of off to the
And
side.
I feel like sometimes, and I'm always trying to think about where the camera is so I'm not standing in front of it.
Yeah.
And I'll catch people kind of glance at it and then look away.
Yeah.
But they just don't. As long as you're just kind of looking down and you're not paying much attention.
Yeah, there's been a couple awkward times when the guy made eye contact with me through the camera, and then I was like, it just feels like they're actually really looking at you, and then I'm always just like,
Oh, you actually had a pretty funny story this morning. So there's a main entrance. I don't know if you heard about this. I think you
don't
did.
know.
So there's a main entrance where everybody comes in the show. Well, there's a couple main entrances, and they bus everybody in. They don't let you park right there. They bus you in from Boys Way. They pull you up to different doors to try to get people in, coming in at the outfitter room and the
Gun
archery
room.
gun room. So early in the week, I was like, hey, on like Friday or Saturday, you should go up here on these steps and try to get a really cool time lapse of everybody walking in. Because we're doing like little sizzle reels for the show and stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. So this morning we get there early and he's like, hey, I'm going to go do that time lapse. I'm like, all right. So he goes out there and he's out there for a while. And then, they do their thing and he comes back. Well, they do the national anthem in the morning.
yeah. So the spot that I picked out
Is at the top of the escalators. There's two escalators and then there's steps in the middle. Well, they had put an American flag in the middle.
up on top of the escalator. So I set up the camera about 2.5, 3 feet to the right of this flag. I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, you could see everything perfect.
Yeah, you could see everything really good. I'm like, oh, this will work. And so I get set up. I'm doing my thing. They all come rushing in. Well, they don't let anybody in, actually, until the show starts. And
Yeah.
so they all get bunched up right in this little hall. And every day they do the national anthem.
Like 2 minutes before the show
2 minutes
starts.
before the show. So there was just a huge sea of people.
They're like, hello, welcome to the Great American Sports Show. If you don't mind, please remove cover and turn to an American flag for the national anthem.
Yep.
So, like,
Everybody turns and looks at Nick.
500 people turn looking at Nick.
I didn't even realize that. I'm like, oh, perfect. There's a flag right to my left. I'll just turn and put my hand over my heart. And then, like, halfway through, I, kind of glanced to the right. I'm like, there was just a sea of people.
Everybody's thinking, who is this guy?
And obviously, they're looking at the flag, but it just felt like everybody was just staring right into my soul. It was super awkward.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
I was like, just act cool. It's fine. Just do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. Like I said, yeah, some of those things just can't be planned.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I probably should have known a little better.
Yeah.
Not sitting up right next to the one American flag in the entire room.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what do you do? It was cool.
Yeah, it's interesting too. You see some people like you see military guys in the rooms that are like standing
in guard.
and like full attention and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
But we've heard some pretty good national anthems too. There was one yesterday. There was a girl that sang that was a little girl and she was kind of out of key. That was kind of cute.
Give her credit for trying, right?
I know. Yeah,
exactly.
she tried really hard.
It's a hard song.
Yeah,
A lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot
she
of
did-
pressure.
She did really good. But yeah, it's been good. Like I said, and I think the fun part, I think, as we were going to be coming here, that I really enjoy is getting to hang out with you. And we get to hang out with Jason's really fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to get out here with you guys and talk people. You never have to twist my arm to talk about hunting, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah. No, it's really fun. But yeah, and then like I said, we've there's been some fun stuff over the week. I was pretty excited for the dock jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, and they had all these different types of events, and they kind of announced on the intercoms when they were having them stuff. So I tried to like sneak down there one time and watch like the big air competition and stuff.
Yeah.
But we actually, when he was, so like the one time I was like, okay, the finals are going to be at this certain time. Like, hey, try to go get some cool like slow-mos of the dog jumping and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was a gal that was, she was the handler for this yellow lab or whatever. And normally when they do the dock jumping, the big air, they like back the dock way up on this platform. And then they walk up there and then they throw the buoy or whatever into the water. And then the dog will like, as the dog runs, they throw it and the dog tries to jump in the air. Well, this gal, she like backed the dog up way back. And then for some reason, she decided to just throw the buoy from there. Well, she didn't. I mean, it was the worst throw ever.
Yeah, it just like skipped along the dock kind of.
Yeah, and it didn't even dribble off, but like 4 feet into the water. And everybody's like, oh, it was like this kind of moment of like quiet. And she totally swore.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, shoot. But imagine what she said.
Yeah, S word.
Yeah. And then like the announcer's like, oh, close your ears, kid. Sorry about that. Oh, well, let's see how he does. And the dog literally like ran up and just like bloop, jumped in the water. And they were like, 4 feet 8 inches for Tommy. Good job, Tommy. It's like, it was really bad.
She was great though. You could have got real ticked off at that if you were that
she was
person,
a good sport.
but she was laughing, and so it was cool to see that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I'm sure the dog had fun regardless.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't care.
Yeah. And then even in that arena, the same place where they have that, they do this. They were doing like chainsaw cutting,
Yeah.
like this logging stuff, which is crazy, and these insane chainsaws.
Yeah, unreal. They were saying they're like $16,000 chainsaws.
Yeah.
I was there to just get some cool shots of it and stuff, but it was actually really interesting hearing them talk about it.
And they said like a starter chainsaw was like $8,000.
Yeah, it was insane. They're all beefed up. One of them, they had like dirt bike engines in them. Like,
Yeah.
it was insane.
Yeah.
And then they were showing like different ways that like people used to like cut trees down and stuff like that, just given the time of technology and stuff.
Yep.
And I can't remember what it's called, but they like use like the springboards as they go up.
Yep.
And so I'm filming the guy. I'm just kind of like following him up. He gets to like the very top, throws a springboard, and jumps on it. Springboard comes off, and he fell from the very
God, how
top.
tall? How far up was he?
Oh gosh, probably
10
feet probably.
Wow.
Dude, there's a crazy story about I don't know if they're called springboards or what they're called.
I can't remember. I think it was a springboard, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Where Randy hunts in Idaho, he found one of those boards in a tree,
No way.
like sitting in a tree from when they had logged the tree down.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and he like
crazy.
pulled it out of a tree and like took it home.
I wonder how long that's been
And he
there.
has it. Yeah, to think about that.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
awesome.
actually, no, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine cutting a tree down without a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
Men were men, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no kidding. It makes you feel like a real wimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they have a whole hall that's literally just a giant 3D course. So that's always really fun to go down, and it's fun to film it too. You can get some cool stuff with the arrow flying and stuff like that, and it's fun too because I had never shot 3D till last summer. So then going down there, I kind of have a new respect for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, these people, they're just so talented,
Well,
so good at it. It's sweet. It's really cool to
It's
watch.
interesting too to see all the different divisions because there's traditional division, there's
Yeah.
hunting division, there's competition division.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that just the scope of how many different type of archers show up to do that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And there is a buttload of targets.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's funny when you look at them, when you walk in there, you're like, holy cow, look at all the targets. But the interesting thing is if you stand behind them and you really look at it, there's a lot of times where they'll put the targets super close to each other.
Yeah.
So you have to really, really zing them in there.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll have a target that's at like 30 yards, but they'll have one at like 15 yards and it's just barely past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could like nick it off the wrong target, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the where I was kind of sitting and filming, the guys that were right in front of me, they were like shooting like so diagonal through everything.
Yeah,
It's like it's cool because it's not just a 3D target just standing there in the wide open. Like
Yep.
there's still a lot of skill involved with it. You know?
yeah. Do you remember how high you saw the numbers on the targets? Because how that works is
I think it was 35.
Okay, so basically they have these lines on the floor, and let's say you shoot 3 arrows each spot. It'd be like 1 through 3, and then you find 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
11, 12, and you just keep moving over. Well, all of a sudden you might get to 24 and you're way on the right side, but it's way over here to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. You got to like figure out where they are. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and they got some cool shots too, where they got to step up on a platform and shoot off that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's super cool, and it's really fun to watch too. It's cool, and they got all those target bows that are kind of built up and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, between the dock jumping stuff and the chainsaw stuff and the 3D archery, and then like I said, obviously the big thing that we're here to do is try to talk to people.
Yeah.
And try to talk about Ozonics, and it's been awesome to have some really cool interactions with people and get to hear their experiences.
Yeah.
And I think one of the funnest things I really enjoy doing most of all is talking to people that don't use it.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy that walks in is, I feel like the one thing I've been hearing a lot this year is a lot of guys walking in going, all right, man, you know, I got winded last year by the buck I was after. I got winded by my number one.
Yeah.
And then I never saw him again. So I got a buddy that swears by this thing. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Explain to me how this works. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I've been hearing that a lot more where guys are like, okay, I'm tired of getting winded,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, it is. It is really cool. And it's really cool too once we like explain the technology behind it, how it works, just to kind of see their face kind of like light up a little bit and be like, whoa, like that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's, you know, when you come to these shows, when we're at the Iowa Deer Classic, you feel like you see the Iowa types of products and the companies in the Midwest. When you come to Pennsylvania, you feel like you're going to kind of see a different, you know, kind of subset of stuff. The one thing I feel like I've seen a lot more of this year, and we were just talking about that tonight at dinner, is, man, there is a lot of saddles out there.
Yeah, it's
Holy
exploded.
guacamole. I think there's like 8 different saddle companies in the show altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's what? Trophy Line right beside us, Cruiser right down the way, and then Tethered, and then there's another one in there.
I don't even remember the name.
Yep. And then I think there's 2 more in the right hall of the hunting equipment.
Yeah.
So it's just wild how many. There's a lot of saddles out there.
Yeah.
And then also too, it's like all the big names in the, you know, tree stand kind of area or whatever. Almost all of them have some sort of a saddle platform sitting there too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
Elevate,
crazy.
Latitude,
Lone Wolf Custom.
Lone Wolf Custom Gear.
They got one.
Yep.
Then there's that new one too. I think you sent it to me. It was a new looking platform. It was real thin, kind of. I saw their booth there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're in the archery hall.
yeah,
It's one
they
of the
are.
ones.
It's on the far. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I was talking to those guys earlier. I can't remember.
Yeah, but it's a really cool looking platform. It's super.
It's the anodized one I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely interesting seeing that. I mean,
It's crazy as a whole, like how many vendors are actually at the show. I mean, it's just
know, man.
insane. I mean, I don't know what the number is, but I know the vendor numbers in the one hall are over 4,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's related to booth space or what, but it's insane.
yeah, it's unreal.
Well, I'll tell you what, the other thing I feel like I've been seeing a lot of that there's almost too many to count is camo.
Yeah.
Just how many different camo brands. Look in the archer room, there's Kuyu right there. And then there's that Osseo or whatever it's called.
Yep.
And then there's Forlow. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
They're in the outfitter room, you know, and then Realtree has a booth here, which is really interesting to see them at the show.
Right.
And then there's other vendors like retailers that are selling a lot of Sitka gear. You're seeing a lot of Sitka gear here and there.
Yep.
I saw some Stone Glacier gear here and there. They're not here, but I saw their gear.
Yeah.
And then I think Scree is in the building.
Yep.
And I know I'm missing a couple. There's a couple that I just never even really heard of. Oh, Numa was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, Numa was there.
There's definitely a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's just wild. Yep, there's so much out there. And like Realtree at the shows, I've never seen Realtree have a booth at the consumer shows. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they were selling like different tops and bottoms and stuff like that in different camos.
I think one of the cool, excuse me. I think one of the cool things is just seeing all like the little knickknacks and like just little products that you would never think of like ever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that too, which is it's cool to see.
That's one thing that's been really fun this week for me is spending Nick's money. It has been awesome.
Yeah, you bought an e-bike, huh?
Oh, dude, that's just the tip of the iceberg, man.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. So let's just go through it. So I have been trying to sneakily see how much money we can spend of Nick's little mini fortune that he got.
Such a mean move.
It's not a mean move. It's fun. So we got you. She got an e-bike,
Let's set the record straight. I sold my snowmobile.
and you got a little mini fortune.
Got a little mini fortune.
So what have I said thus far that's not true?
Well, you didn't say anything about the snowmobile yet. We need to tell
You have
people
enough to buy 2 more e-bikes.
Yes.
that Cole told me, he's like, I'm not your friend anymore if you don't buy me an e-bike.
I did say that.
I'm like, well, that's just totally unrealistic.
Oh. Well, the funny thing is an e-bike for you really does make sense
Yeah.
because, and I noticed this last fall. It's funny because all of a sudden I could feel like the dad mode clicking in
Yeah.
because Nick's just rearing to go out and deer hunt, and he's wanting to try to hunt public land. But then the problem is he's a type 1 diabetic, so it's like the opportunity for you to go low, it's just there, you know. And the farther you get away from the truck, the more risk you kind of take. And when you're on foot, it just gets a little sketchy. And there's been numerous times, even since he's even been in Iowa, sorry, Nick's mom and dad, if you're listening to this, that he's called me and he's like, hey, man, I'm low right now. I'm like, oh, cool. If I don't call you in 10 minutes, can you drive out here? Because I'm probably laying on the ground. This is where I am. It's like, oh, dang, okay, yeah, you know? And so... you know, and like even when he's like had the opportunity to shoot deer, he's like, well, how am I going to get it out of here?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to get out of here? Like, I can't drag it out of here. Like, I can't, even if I have a cart, like, and if I'm going to go low, like, this is just, it really creates a pickle.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, yeah, 100%.
And
Yeah,
so
we really saw it. And when my mind started, going into the season, I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll be totally fine. But then, like, we went to Idaho, just got totally, I mean, it was terrible.
obliterated. Montana.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's a couple times just going out just to hang trail cameras where that's where the call would happen. Like, hey, I'm super low right now. And I'm like way back on here, like close to a mile back. I'm like, don't freak out. But
Yeah.
so it's like, that's where my wheels kind of start turning. It's like, I need.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I need to figure out something. I think this will be the perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely will help.
Yeah. And I think I got a really good deal on it. The guys
man.
that I got a Rambo one, and
Rambo Romer.
yep, Rambo Romer, and the guys there were just awesome to talk with. And
Guy named Rick.
yep,
Super cool dude.
awesome guy.
Interestingly, Rambo bikes is in Centerville, Iowa, which I never knew.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, they're in Centerville.
Yep.
Because that was my first question when we saw him, and it was a smoker of a deal. I'm like, first thing I was like, are you actually Rambo Bikes? Or are you just a retailer? And he's like, nope, we're Rambo. Like, I work for the company. I was like, sweet. Because we get that a lot too. So are you guys Ozonics? Are you just like reps? Or what do you guys do? You know, it's like you want to figure out how real and authentic they are.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, man, we really work for Rambo. I'm like, awesome. And they knew their stuff. They were super cool to talk to, no pressure.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
were super nice
Yep,
guys.
yep.
Yep.
And so you got a bike, you got a rack, you're getting fenders, you got a trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty
Set.
sick. Yeah, it's going to be pretty sick.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going
I'm
to be.
really, really excited about it.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
So you got the e-bike, then you had to get these little grippy things for your compound so you can put those on the front.
Yep.
Then you had to get
Cell cams.
then you had to then you had to buy more cell cams. So he bought 4 more cell cams. So that was
Man.
yeah. Then he had to buy a sweatshirt.
I mean, it's a,
Then he had to buy another sweatshirt.
this is my. I had to get a Scrape Johnson shirt
Jeez.
and then a Tom Johnson shirt.
It's not Tom Johnson. Stop saying Johnson. I hate that.
But no, it's just I don't know. I like cool things like that. And
It's burn a hole in your pocket, man. Just gotta
Only
spend
money.
it. Hey, can't take it with you.
you guys act like I didn't budget anything. I'm still under my budget.
You didn't budget anything.
Yes, I did. The first thing on my list was trail cameras. I did not expect to buy an e-bike.
I'm still under budget. I totally planned this.
So I quickly reworked the budget.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, you're making all this up as you go.
what do you do?
You know, Randy and I, so Nick ends up kind of being the butt of some of the jokes,
Of every joke.
of every joke. We came up with a thing today that, you know, sometimes I kind of feel like, you know, you're Will Ferrell on Step Brothers, right? I just want to punch you like right in the suck hole, you know? And it's like, we've come up with this thing. It's called punchable moments. There's just these moments throughout the day when I just want to punch you. And that was one of them right there, when you try to pretend like you had it all planned out when you didn't.
I did not expect this podcast to go this way.
It's all focused on you now, Nick.
No. But I will say, Nick's being a trooper because he's not feeling good. And I'm really laying into him.
I'm used to it by now.
Oh, psh. Oh.
No, it's all good. I know it's all in fun. Well, I hope it's all in fun. Because if it's not, then I'm in a pickle. But
Oh, that's another thing. Since you brought it up, there's a pickle booth at the show.
There is.
Pennsylvania's
Pretty good.
pickle something something.
it's like Pennsylvania's Peter Piper's
Pickles.
Yeah, something.
Pennsylvania's Peter Piper's Pennsylvania's Peter Piper. I can't even say it. Pennsylvania's Piper's Pickles something company.
If we're going to mention the pickles, we have to mention the milkshakes.
Oh my goodness!
really-
I can't believe you.
I mean, I like you guys, but I really only come for the milkshakes.
I'll tell you what, those milkshakes bring the boys to the yard. I'm just saying. They do.
That was sick.
I'm just saying. Listen, these milkshakes, they're
know
so
what to
good. Huh?
I don't even know what to say to that.
They do. Dude, listen,
Yeah, they're like
they're addicting.
chocolate milkshakes from heaven or something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even know. They're that.
Yeah,
good.
they're like, it's, yeah.
They're from what, the Dairy Association?
They're from Angels is what they're from.
They're so good.
They're from Dairy Angels. Chocolate Dairy Angels. No, they are good.
Yeah.
They're so good. So my buddy Jim, a good friend of mine, he's from Wisconsin. He's helping a buddy of his in the outfitter room. He's an outfitter from Montana. And I told him, I said, hey, have you got a milkshake yet? He's like, oh, no. Yeah. I said, no, hey, listen, here's where they are. Just go get one. You got to try it. So I talked to him today, and he's like, I don't know how much weight I've gained, but I'm getting a milkshake every single day. He's like, literally, he's like, I'm drinking it as my lunch.
I think we literally did that last year. I mean, I remember having
There was a couple times
two
we
at
had
one time.
we got double. We got two of them.
I know that last year was a lot more aggressive in the milkshake category.
Well, dude.
We always had them.
Oh man. I'll tell you what, this year it's gotten out of hand. I had to stop altogether. So I literally the last couple of days I've been fasting all day because I just feel like I've eaten too much.
But you ate 10 pounds of steak tonight.
Oh my goodness, I know. I made up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Pennsylvania is known for their, I think they are, because it seems like everywhere you go, it's on the menu. In the Midwest, you can only get prime rib maybe like one day a week or at a real nice place. But here, it's like everywhere you go, there's prime rib. You go into a Ted's Sports Bar, prime rib. On a Tuesday night, you can get a prime rib.
unbelievable wings at that
yeah.
place too.
Hey, they said best wings in town. They weren't lying.
Yeah, they weren't lying.
But back to the milkshakes. They are really good. They're super thick. It's hard to describe.
Super chocolatey.
Yeah. You wouldn't think that they could make such a good milkshake just coming out of that little machine. You think, oh, that's not going to be good. It's from a machine. It is good. It tastes like if like Wendy's and McDonald's had a baby and it was a Frosty or a milkshake, that would be it.
And it's funny because I know that we're not the only people that think this way.
No, because you go there and there's a line all the
There's always a
time.
line, and there's always people walking around with drink carriers with 4 of them on there.
You can get, and it's not only chocolate milkshakes, you get vanilla milkshake, or you get a half and half.
That's what I always get.
I think don't they pour it in vertically or horizontally? I think I've seen it both ways.
Yeah. A lot of times they got little kitties in there, pre-made.
Kitties?
What?
Yeah, they keep them in a little kitty.
A kitty?
You know, like
That's another thing.
Punchable moment.
Exactly. Again, that's another thing. Let's just talk about the other punchable moment today. Or this is from a long time ago. Have you ever heard of anybody call, like when they see a ravine, like a little drainage or something? Do you ever hear them called a coulee? Listen to this guy.
I've heard of that before, but
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was cruising through the coulee.
Yeah. Hey, just look down there. There's coulee down there. There's a little coulee.
Bet you there's a couple sheds down in that coulee.
That is
They're roosting above that coulee.
See, again, punchable moment.
No, like a kitty. Like when you're playing cards, you throw the cards at the kitty.
Yeah.
Pull from the kitty.
Like a hopper?
Sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So that's the other thing to talk about is the outfitter room.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Holy guacamole. You want to go in there and, man, you could go in there and spend some money.
Yeah, you go about anywhere in the world.
You could, yeah. There's outfitters from all over the world. You walk down the aisles, you can see people from Africa, Newfoundland, Greenland,
It's crazy.
anywhere in North America. It's unbelievable.
I
It's
think my favorite part about the outfitter room is all the mounts.
oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Dude,
That moose we saw today. Killer.
Where is
there's,
that at?
there's an Alaska Yukon moose in there. Jeez, if that thing isn't 70 inches plus wide, it is so big.
I ought to go find that. I haven't seen
Oh
that.
man, it's big. Like we walked by it quick today, and I was like, "Hey, stop once," and you're like, "Whoa!" It is so wide, tons of fronts, and it's just huge paddles. I'll tell you, the one that I like the most in there is that muskox.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Have you seen that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez,
dude.
dude. We'll take you by that tomorrow. There's a muskox that's running on one leg. It's all balanced on one leg, okay? And then it's got like two wolves on each side, like biting into it.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like the wolves that are biting into it are literally mounted by like the snout.
Yeah, by
That's
the
how
mouth
it's hanging
biting
on
it.
there.
No
Like
way.
it's unreal.
Oh, dude, and like one, I think one wolf is biting it, and the other wolf is hanging off the other wolf. Another one's on the other side, like upside down, like the muskox, like stepping on it. It's pretty unbelievable.
really cool.
I don't know about the stepping on it part, but there's two on the other side. I don't know what they're doing. They're just hanging there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It doesn't even look real.
I think the lady said that it's like, did she say it was 600 to 800 pounds on the one leg?
I don't know.
I think it was something like that. It's, well, and
Sorry.
I ran down, because I knew we were going to talk about this, so I ran down and got a clip of it, and I just asked her, like, hey.
Yeah.
And then she was just kind of talking to me about it. She's like, yeah, it's all on one leg or whatever. And she's like, and the cool thing about it is, she goes, the taxidermy, like how the actual taxidermy is done, she's like, it's incredible too. It's like, yeah, it's amazing that they're all stacked on top of each other. But she's like, the work that taxidermy did on the actual mounts is, second to none as well. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
true. Like
It does
it's
look
really
beautiful.
Cool. Yeah.
And there's a shoulder mounted giraffe behind that.
Yeah.
And there's I think it's a Cape Buffalo, and there's like two female lions.
Yeah.
Like jumping on its back, and you can see like the claw marks down the side.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
really
all
cool.
red, like it's all bloody.
Yeah.
It's
Really
pretty
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the outfitter room is incredible. And like I said, that's probably my favorite place to go, just because I think that is one thing that is very unique to this show. Is you'll see outfitters kind of scattered at most of the shows.
Yeah.
But there's not an outfitter room, and there's that room has as many aisles and as many vendors
Oh, is any of them?
as the Iowa Deer Classic.
Yeah.
Just the outfitters.
Yep.
It's crazy. I mean, and like the archery hall, the aisles are kind of big, right? Like you could drive a car down them.
Yeah.
The aisles in that room are not very big. They've got them squished in there about as tight as they can.
Yeah, they're stacked in there, and just like the booth sizes are all really small.
Yeah.
So they're just stacked in there. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're not, I don't even think they're 10 by 10.
Oh, really?
They look smaller than that to me.
Yeah, you might be right.
A lot of them, it's just two chairs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's really cool. It's
Yep.
really something.
Yeah, so like I said, it's been a lot of stuff going on between the food, all the activities, Donald Trump, milkshakes,
Yeah.
Ozonics booth, people coming in, having good discussion, hanging with good friends.
Yeah, it's been a good week for sure.
And like I said, we got kind of a little bit of the same, but a unique roster of Ozonics workers here this week.
Yeah.
We've got Susie at the show. She's never done consumer shows. And then we just throw her to the wolves right off the bat, bring her to the 9-day marathon.
Yeah.
And then we got Randy. Randy's helped us the last couple of years. So it's really fun to have him here.
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting. This is really when the first time I got to really hang out with you or meet you last year.
Yeah, this was the first thing I did last year.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think how time's gone by.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, getting to see you, Jason, is awesome. It's fun to hang out.
Yeah, it's been great.
And yeah, it's fun to talk hunting. And you were talking. We were talking last night. Jason's trying to talk us into coming out to Pennsylvania, doing a little flintlock hunting.
Yeah,
That'd be so amazing.
I think you guys would love it. I mean,
man.
you'll be frustrated. Not guaranteeing we would kill anything. I guarantee you we'll do some missing, though.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that
it
sounds
would be a new
amazing.
experience for you guys. I think it'd be fun.
because that flintlock season runs when the other seasons are over, right?
Yeah, it
It's for
starts
like a couple weeks.
Starts
Doesn't it?
here the day after Christmas.
Okay.
It runs for 2 weeks. It's cold, usually snowy. It's fun,
Yeah.
Get some deer moving and make a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that does look really, really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've had, unfortunately, we've had some guys come up and kind of give me a little bit of crap for.
Oh man, I wasn't even bring that up. So it's funny because I think that Nick and I think that the only people that watch this is like him and I, and like maybe my little boy Jet. You know what I mean, on YouTube.
My mom and dad watch every week.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your mom's dad's names?
Joan and Walter.
Joan and Walter. They watch, and we get like 2 or 3 views from them. Come to find out, a lot more people watch than we thought they did. So we've had a couple people walk up this week, and we had one guy in particular that walked up, and just right off the bat, he's like, "Hey, 3 miss guy."
That's great.
Yep. Hey, kudos to you for being just that willing to just man up to it and talk about it. I think that was awesome, which I think is what he really liked. He said that. He goes, "Hey, man, listen." He's like, "I think that's super relatable." He goes, "I love it." He goes, "I sent it to a bunch of my buddies. These guys, I got a good laugh out of that."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think most of us have been there.
Yeah, exactly.
At some
Like,
point. So
it's like
It's part of
it's
it.
good to laugh about it.
it's just like the old saying, like 87% of people miss and the other 13% lie about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh,
And then, we've had a couple guys from New York say they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out. We had a couple guys that we actually met that I think we're probably going to try to have on the podcast.
Yep. They had a really, really cool story.
Yep.
3 buddies that all kind of hunt together, and they were all kind of chasing this deer for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And all use Ozonics.
Yep.
And they're younger guys. And so, like, as they're standing there, Cole's like, "Should we try and get them on the podcast?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it."
Yep.
And they were all really stoked about it. So yeah, I think that'll be really cool to kind of have a conversation with them and let them tell their story. But yeah, no, it's been really cool having people come up and talk about this, just because I feel like for everybody, like when you do something like a podcast, it just kind of feels small. But when you hear people that are listening about it literally across the country, it's super satisfying.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, and I think the idea behind us doing this quote unquote content creation, like a lot of people are starting to do now, is I think for us is we were just trying to figure out a way to let people see who we are.
Yeah.
And be more, because like I'm the type of person that I'll drive an hour and a half to go to a specific archery shop because I want to deal with that certain person because I like him. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes you more relatable.
Absolutely,
The
like-
podcast to your average consumer.
Yeah, and like I think we talk about all the time that we talked about this last week that for us it's about building a relationship with people.
Yeah.
Like we want them to buy the product, yeah, but we really want to build that relationship with them. And in whatever part of that relationship they're at, if they're looking at it, if they're thinking about it, they've already bought it, if they're warranting something, they're doing a paid refurb, you know what I mean? If they're looking to buy another one,
Yeah.
if they're looking to try to get a buddy into it, or they're just looking for good information, they're learning how to try to figure out how to use it, how to set up the right way, how to take advantage of it more.
Yeah.
We're just trying to meet them there. And I feel like that's what this podcast and all of this stuff kind of represents. And it's
Yeah.
kind of fun when you're at the show because it feels like the culmination of that. When guys walk up, they're like, "Hey man, I saw that awesome deer that you guys were chasing on public ground. Like that's so cool.
Yeah.
I was watching to see if you guys were going to, get a chance at it again."
Yeah.
And so it's really fun.
Yeah. It's super cool.
I think we just end it right there.
Yeah.
I think we just wrap her up.
Yep. That works.
Episode 41 of the books.
Yep.
Sorry I made fun of you. Sorry you get all sensitive. Hey. He's kind of sensitive.
No, I'm not. Look at him.
Hey, give him a break. He's sick. He's tired.
Yeah. I'm sweating. I'm probably sweating. I'm pinning out right now.
Are you really?
I don't know. I'm really sweaty.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it might. This house tends to run a little warm, but
We've been here for like
Go
4
downstairs in the cave that I'm sleeping in.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is we're in this nice VRBO and we all have our own bedrooms and basically our own bathrooms. Randy's got his own bathroom. Susie's got his own bathroom. You and I are sharing a bathroom, technically. And then, Jason, you're downstairs, and you got your own bathroom.
Yeah.
But downstairs is a little chilly.
Just a tad.
There's heaters down there. And I asked him last night, I'm like, did you turn the heaters on? He's like, oh, there's heaters in there? And I mean, it was like, it had to be like.
I was so tired. It was dark. I didn't
Yeah.
care. I just fell in the bed and went to sleep.
Well, that's the thing about the shows. That's what I think people don't realize is you run hard when you do this.
Oh, yeah.
I think Susie's kind of figuring that out the hard way, right? Is it's not, I mean, like tomorrow morning, the show's 9 to 7. 9 in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. Well, that means we got to be there by 8.
Yeah.
Because you got to get in, you want to vacuum, do little things. And there'll be people in the booth standing there, vendors that don't have time to walk around. They'll want to maybe look at something.
Yep.
So we're there by 8, which means we got to leave here by 7. There's a 20-minute drive. We got to grab something to eat. Got to get up at 6 because you're trying to take a shower. And, we all got to shower. And it's like trying not, use all the hot water and get a little break and do stuff here. So, and then the show gets over at 7 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Well, then you can't get out of there real fast because it's a big parking lot and everybody's trying to get out on the same exit. So you fight traffic for a while. Then it's like, okay, where do we go eat?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock at night and you get back here and you're like, hey, let's do a podcast. And now it's 11:30. So yeah, it's just wild how it just the days.
It's not hard work, but you're on your feet all day. You're talking nonstop.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a lot to do.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Wears you down.
Yep. Well, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Another episode in the book. Thanks for watching. I'm Cole Tanner.
I'm Nick Simon.
I'm Jason Mears.
Stay classy.
See you next week.
Stay classy.